Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty. That was Pastor, Prophet Ryan Chandler giving a very powerful sermon and showing you firsthand how he was a powerful, anointed man of God. Now, I want to pass on that the services are Thursday and Friday. The wake is Friday the 13th, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Eternal Rest Funeral Home, 1400 Northampton Road, City of DeSoto, Texas. Celebration of Life is 2 p.m. Saturday at Praise Worship Church, 2312 Drenton Drive, City of Dallas. Now we're going to get into some of what the investigation has uncovered at this particular moment. And this is going to be a lot to unpack because keep in mind the investigation is still going on. And there's a lot of twists, turns, things that are being uncovered, things that have not been uncovered. But one of the things that you can rest assured about this particular case that is absolutely 100% not true, and that is picking up a stranger on the side of the road. That absolutely did not happen. And I had a feeling that that was false. I just did not believe and think that in this day and age that people are going to pick up a random hitchhiker, someone they just do not know. But what we do know so far is that it appears that Ryan knew the killer. It appears that there was some type of a connection, that they had been talking on an app. Now, which particular app? Because there's numerous apps out there. We do not know. But what can be uncovered is that there are time frames from the police report that goes something like this here. Around 11:48 a.m. Apparently, Ryan's white Lexus had pulled up behind the service station. Now, what they were doing behind the service station, no one knows. But this is the story right here that they had put up behind. And a short time later, at around 12:20, around this particular time, Ryan's body was discovered. So we can say between 11:48 a.m. and 12:20 was when the murder took place. Now at that 12:20, somewhere around that particular time frame, we're estimating a black male with a hoodie was seen exiting from the vehicle. Now, he was seen walking away. This particular black male was identified later as 24-year-old Rodney Ward. Rodney has apparently addresses in Memphis, and Arkansas. But apparently he was living in Arkansas at that particular moment. Now, what we do know also is that he was found on Highway 1 around a couple of hours later. And we do know, too, that he made a full confession. Now, before I go on with this, I want you to hear the father's take as to what he believes happened to his son.
What happened and everything. And in due time, I believe God is going to reveal what happened. I know that my son rubbed some people the wrong way, but that's not here there anymore. All that, your grudge that you had toward him, is null and void now because he's not here.
So you heard the father. The father, the family, and Ryan's friends believed it was a hit, that Ryan was set up. Let me explain to you about the grinder thing. The police have stated that Ryan was on a lot of apps, that he was very active on these particular apps. And we know what these apps are for, to solicit men for company. However, those of you in the Black LGBT community of Texas, I'm sure that you heard this angle, that Ryan was possibly / allegedly could have been involved with a well-known high-powered preacher, someone from a mega church. And you in the Black LGBT community of Texas, you know who I'm talking about. And let me caution you guys one thing. Please do not leave that name here. Don't do that. Because this is allegedly. Because then that will go into a slander by actually naming someone. And we do not really know for sure if this particular person had anything to do with the murder. However, it is only alleged that some type of a connection Ryan have had with this individual, or some type of activity could have taken place. But we do not know if this activity was murder. That's why I do not want that name left here. If you're going to drop a name, do it at the Texas Police Department or do it at the Arkansas Police Department, but not here. However, this particular pastor is married. He's well known. He has a mega church. Now, with that being said, maybe they just had a rendezvous. Maybe they just had an encounter. Or maybe it could have been more. We don't know. But I'm not an investigator. We'll leave that up to the professionals to make that connection and to take it there. So basically what I'm going by speculation, gossip, rumors, innuendos, and hearsay. But I do believe that all angles should be followed. And I do believe that by putting it out there, maybe someone knows something. People talk. We know that people can gossip and carry things. So you guys may know something that can be very important in cracking this whole case open. Now, Rodney Ward, the killer, made a confession, which I find to be very odd. Because if no one's seen you, the only videotape apparently is if you're just walking away from the car. If no one's seen you pull the trigger, why would you make a confession? Are you trying to cover up for someone? And people may say that, well, wouldn't that bury the whole thing about him it possibly being a hit? Not necessarily, because many times people have family who are not involved, and family could have been threatened. Or maybe Rodney's life was threatened. So we don't really know. So this is why the investigation is ongoing. Now, let me go to another angle with this here. Something that the family may not want to believe. But the day before, a woman called in and she asked Ryan personally online if he was gay. He adamantly denied it, said he was not. So I do not know how Ryan, if he accepted himself, if he believed he possibly was straight. I don't know if he was in denial, but apparently he did not identify as a gay man. What he did say, ironically, was that he had some indiscretions. So it seems to me, this is just my opinion, that we have a young man, 35 years old, 2 children, who was struggling with his sexuality, who may have had identity issues, an identity crisis when it came to that particular issue. It seems to me that he was typical of a lot of people who are in the C.O.G.I.C community, who are in the Christian community. Gay men who are in denial, who are struggling, who cannot really admit what they are. And it's typical for people to have children earlier on, to try to force themselves to be something that they're not. So I want to tell you a little interesting story about a psychic who looked into this particular case right here. And she stated this, that no, it was not a random pickup. It was not a stranger. This was someone he knew, that they had a disagreement because it was about a breakup that one of them could not accept. And she stated that because the person could not accept it, they got very upset, like a crime of passion, and it ended in murder. Now that's what she stated. She's online. Look up Ryan Chandler online, YouTube, psychic reading, you'll find her. Now, where this is going to go, who knows? I mean, it's all over the place right now. What is my inkling about this? At first, I was going into the direction of it being a possible hit. But then again, here's why I no longer believe that particular theory. Because when the woman called in online asking Ryan if he was gay, and he got very upset and said no, that told me that he did not accept his sexuality, that he was in some type of a denial. So if he feels that particular way about himself, why would there be a need to expose a pastor? He would never expose anyone, because that would be exposing himself. So I want to tie this story into a very interesting story that I've seen about Marilyn Monroe and about the Kennedys, who were allegedly involved into her murder. As we know, Marilyn Monroe was involved with both Kennedy brothers. And here's the thing. is it Jack and Bobby and Jack Kennedy? However, she was going to give a press conference the following week, and it is alleged that they panicked and they had Marilyn done away with because they thought that she was going to tell their secrets. So maybe, just maybe, the pastor who he had this alleged affair with could have panicked and thought that Ryan was going to reveal something about their relationship and had someone do something about it. I'm just putting that out there. Personally, like I said before, I do not believe that. Because if someone is in denial about their sexuality, why would they reveal that they had an affair with you? So I'm going to say, no, I do not buy that particular angle. I'm going to go with this is someone he knew. This is someone he chatted with before. A disagreement broke out. And it ended in a very unfortunate way that left a family shattered, taking a very charismatic prophet and preacher away from us. But I do believe in the afterlife. And I do believe that Ryan is in a better place. But I do believe the truth will come out. And hopefully it can find some closure, some, for the family. And I hope they realize that during the short time that Ryan was here on this earth, he touched many, and he was truly a gift from God. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is another edition of Sin Beyond and Through with Monty, and I will see you all beyond and through.